I've come to the realization that I don't want Twitter and I don't want anything to do with Twitter ever again. And the reason is, I've been reading up on it, I've been reading about internet addiction, I've been reading about Twitter addiction, I've been reading about the dopamine hits, I've been reading about how it's reprogramming our brains, how we're having mass consumption of information without any context, without any nuance, and we can't handle it. Our brains aren't built to handle it. We are junkies using Twitter. We are dopamine addicts, we're meth addicts, we're heroin addicts. And just like people that use heroin, people that use Twitter become horrible people. Look at Graham Linehan. He was a nice person before, he was a writer, he was producing things, he was creating things, and now he just whines at people all the time and just moans and has arguments, and it just basically takes us away from ourselves, takes us away from our objectives, takes us away from what we want to be, what we should be. Yes, so I was moaning about Twitter, taking my accounts down. Oh, woe is me, they've suspended both my accounts at the same time. And yet they told me separately that both my accounts violated terms of services separately, even though they both went down at exactly the same time. Wow, what a coincidence. But of course they didn't cite any examples of where it violated terms of services because they don't need to. Because they're an authoritarian monster. And I want nothing to do with them anymore. Twitter jumped the shark a long time ago, but with this recent censorship, shadow banning and outright suspension regime, it's not attracting any new customers, it's hemorrhaging them. It's not getting any of the next generation. Generation Z, all the kids, they go for Snapchat, they go for TikTok. They don't care about Twitter. Generation Z don't like political correctness. It's my generation that like political correctness. We're the ones that brought it around and said, no, where's this? And these young kids, these upstarts, these new alt-right kids or whatever, you know, they don't like the political correctness and they don't like the censorship and they don't use these programs that are censored. They don't care about the big three. They don't use them. So therefore, Twitter is dead. Twitter's already dead. It hasn't got a future. And therefore, it's controlling what it has left. It's controlling society completely. And it's just now trying to hold on to what it's got left. And it's doing a really good job of that by just wiping out, suspending accounts, isn't it? Yeah. I have to thank Twitter for suspending my accounts completely unfairly, because if they didn't, I wouldn't have looked into information about why Twitter is addictive, why it's wrong to use it, and I wouldn't have moved on from my addiction to Twitter in the first place! Thank you, Twitter! Roger Stone is suing you right now. I don't know many cases that have been successful, but in the future there'll be a lot more, because people are being suspended unfairly, left, right and centre, and it literally is left, right and centre, politically, and there's more and more litigious, you know, people that are coming out of the woodwork suing them. They will have strong cases and they will work. These companies have been abusing our human rights. They took away free speech, they've taken away our minds from our families, they've taken away our time with each other, our friendships, our capacity to love and forgive and cherish and do all the things that make us human. They took that away from us. We shouldn't reward them by using their platforms. We are product. Remember that, they harvest us, they harvest our information for their own profit, whilst taking away our speech, violating our freedom of speech rights, and cutting off our money, and lying about us, and defaming everything, and doxing us, and having hordes of people just descending on one celebrity because they committed a gross social violation of hate speech one day or whatever. You know, this is how the world operates now, and it's Twitter that's the architect of our death. Twitter! Nothing else that's done this. The world has changed for the worse and became a mass of hateful mobs because of Twitter. Nothing else. I want Twitter to be obliterated from the planet, and I want humanity to be saved. I want to restore humanity and what it means to actually be human and have love in your heart and actually have a family that cares about you, rather than looking at endless lists of meaningless data that comes in pouring through some conduit like you're a Borg drone. Oh yeah, I'm so connected to the hive mind, aren't I? You know what, it can feel quite lonely when you're outside of Twitter. It can feel quite lonely being disconnected from trending lists. But also, you feel more human. It's quite nice. I suggest you try it.